Hello everyone, welcome to Grow Your Future with Luxland. I am Zar, CEO of Luxland Investments, and I am joined, as per usual, by my co-hosts, Jade and Mark. How are you? Are you
Great.
well?
How are you?
Good, thank you. Very
Now, being the last episode of the year, we thought that we would bring someone special in to help say goodbye to 2017 and hello to 2018. Now, our special guest is someone who we have looked up to as a person of influence for many years now. He is a man that is well known from his authentic personality on TV promoting weight loss and healthy living. His background originates from sports science and personal training. He was one of the founders of Vision Personal Training Gyms, the owner of famous supplement company Body Trim, and was the CEO of the recent Medical Weight Loss Institute. He has spent over 20 years dedicating himself to helping people from all backgrounds and beliefs to lose weight and become the very best person they want to become. He has inspired over 300,000 Australians through his professional nutritional advice and motivational coaching. He has also overcome his fair share of adversities together through his personal and professional life, which has led him to become one of Australia's #1 life coaches. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Mr. Jeff Jowett.
Thank you, Zar. Thanks for that very warm introduction. And hello, everyone tuning in. Great to be here. Thanks for having me on the show. End of 17, into 18. Yeah, grateful to be here. That makes me feel good about life, that introduction. I'm feeling all right.
Well, you've done
It
heaps.
should.
You've done heaps.
Mate,
You've done so much.
Look, it's good. Yeah, it is good to be here and have a chat with the viewers and you guys. And mate, I have, and you know, it's the not rags to riches, but it's the ups and downs and the wins and losses, and there's a lot of that, and that's probably some of the stuff I'm most passionate about now. And I'm a bit older than you guys, and you know, we've known each other for many years, and I know you sort of watched my progress with different companies, and you know that means a lot to me. And you've sort of seen the highs and the lows at my end. I've sort of, you know, I've pioneered a few things and then made some blunders, and so, you know, and you got to own those mistakes as well. And we'll talk more about that. That's really important. I think it's part of the growth journey for everyone. You know, I used to play the blame game. I'd blame partners and, you know, business partners or the economy or the government or the. Pretty sure I was there for all of it. Pretty sure I was there. And, you know, as I've gotten older and uglier and balder and probably a bit shorter as well at 40, mate, you just own it and you're better for it, better for the lessons. And that's why I'm more passionate than ever about coaching and life coaching and weight loss coaching and some new projects. And, you know, some of those brands that you mentioned, Vision PT, Mate, I was just a pup when we kicked that off. I was 23 and I had no idea what I was doing. And for anyone watching that's in that boat, it's, you know, you jump off the cliff, you build the plane on the way down. It's those ones. But and I've learned a lot since then. I don't take the risks I used to anymore. You know, it's lifestyle's important for me these days. Back then it was just, we're all in, let's change the world, here we go, and it's good in your 20s, and now I'm sort of a bit more strategic, and I just try and stick to what I know now, which is people and motivation and weight loss and equipping people with tools. And because I've had a bunch of battles myself, I'm very open, and we'll talk more about that, about some of my struggles, because having made money, lost money, gone broke, started again, battled the drink, done so many different things, it's given me this, I guess, wealth of knowledge to share with people. And I've just found everybody's got something that they battle with. Even someone, doesn't matter whether they got $1 or $1 billion, whether they're obese or skinny, people have got stuff that they've got to work through. And that's what sort of gets me out of bed, adding value to them.
Great.
Awesome.
That's awesome. So, Jeff, you motivate a lot of people to lose weight, right? Which I think is great, because I think it's the #1 start for people to kickstart their life, right? A lot of people come to me and they say, Zar, I want to succeed in life, right? Well, we're a podcast about, you know, succeeding in life.
Success.
It's not just
Yeah.
it's not just business. So it's not just money. It's overall the whole package, right? And the first thing I usually say to them is, concentrate on your health.
Yeah.
If your health is in check, then you'll have a healthy mind. And I know you go through. You've got a saying of healthy mind, healthy body, healthy
Yes.
life, right?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit more about
Mate, for sure. Look, I think they're all connected. I think Tim Ferriss wrote a book recently called Tools of Titans, and he's just interviewing a bunch of thought leaders and success stories and their daily rituals. And I think it's all one and the same. I find weight loss for people, a new weight loss thing I'm doing at the moment, we'll talk about later. I say weight loss is the front door to the house. People come to me because they want to lose weight, but then they realise there's so much more. And the same rituals that help you lose weight, help you build a business, help you change your life, help you get happy, it's all the same. And a lot of it comes around being more present, not thinking happiness is when I'm rich, happiness is when I'm thin, happiness is when I've got the house, happiness is now. And this is some of the breakthrough stuff I've found in the last year, especially for myself. So a lot of people, let's say you want to lose 50 kilos, you think, when I've lost 50, life's going to open up. It's not. That's a massive trap.
And that's the same with money, Jeff.
That's right.
Some people say, "Oh, wait till I have $100,000 in the bank or $1 million in the bank," and look, I've been there, and it's not the answer. It really isn't. And I know you've been there,
mate.
Jeff.
And if you don't start from the right place, it's a disaster. And and weight loss as well. Like we know, I've been a competitive bodybuilder. You guys have as well, and most of the people in that sport, they're so obsessed with their body, they're anything but happy.
They're miserable. Most of the time, they're miserable.
On the inside, yeah.
But they look good on Instagram when they smile, and you think it's all happy days, right?
Yeah.
But it's not, because they're so obsessed. And they think that they define themselves by how they look. That's a massive mistake. And when you kick a big goal in business, if you define yourself by your business or your level of wealth, that's a massive mistake. There's so much more to us than what we own, how we look, what we do. There's a greater depth to it, and that's where I've fallen down before. When I did really well before, I was the body trim guy in my mind. I was body trim. I was vision. I was
Ego.
It's ego. It's ego, mate. And when I was saying this to you the other day when we caught up, I started reading up on Stoic philosophy, Stoicism. Because when you're struggling, you got to grow. You either neck yourself, get drunk, or you get on with it. And I decided, after thinking about both for a while, to get on with it, to be honest. And Stoicism's a great practice. I recommend it for everyone. There's a guy called Ryan Holiday, wrote a book called Ego is the Enemy. And my big two things that have brought me undone personally, professionally, financially, emotionally, spiritually, ego and addiction. Killers. And ego, you think as a young bloke it's good, it's not. It gets you off the starting line, but then it consumes you. You don't do things for the right reasons. And so I say to people now, it's great to be ambitious. I think we all need it, but from a service position. You got to come from a place of service and do great work for your clients. And when I've done great work, that's where my head was at. Where it goes pear-shaped is when the ego takes over. You make a little bit of money, get a little bit of profile, get a little bit of success, and if you're not careful, you think you're a superstar and you think you're above things and better than people, and that was a terrible place to be.
So you're saying that, like if you concentrate too much on yourself, right, then you kind of lose weight, right? You forget about others. You just your ego gets in the way, and you forget about bringing value to the party, and serving others and helping others, because that's where the purpose is. Because I find a lot of enjoyment and a lot of passion out of helping others, rather than even helping myself. Like I'll put myself last now. You know what I mean? I'll put others as a priority, and I'll give more than I'll receive. And I never used to be like that. I used to always be about me. I used to always be quite selfish. You know what I mean? It was all about my net worth and what I could achieve. And
it's very short term, isn't it? I think if you don't have an actual purpose, a proper purpose for your ego or in getting off the starting block, then that can't be it can't be a long game. It's very short term in the end of the day.
But I think everyone
sure.
goes through that stage in business, like especially people who just get into business. I find that the first 2, 3, 4 years, you're always just thinking about yourself.
But they have to, don't they?
Like you said, Jeff, it gets you started.
But what I reckon, and this is from a bloke who's gone, like, my success graph looks like the Himalayas.
Well, that's what makes you so interesting.
Yeah.
That's your story.
It is, and what I believe wholeheartedly, and I've seen evidence, I say success leaves clues, I've seen evidence of this across so many different industries, categories, people, and ambition. You've got to remember why you started. It's got to be purpose-driven. So Rick Warren, who's a pastor of a church, wrote a book called A Purpose-Driven Life, and it was a religious book, and it sold hundreds of, I'm not religious, but it sold hundreds of millions of copies because people need purpose. Viktor Frankl wrote Man's Search for Meaning after he got out of the concentration camps, and again, meaning, purpose was what he found, even meaning and purpose in there. And most died, he kept going, and he writes in his little book that when the lights go out on that, the person dies 2 days later in there because it just they couldn't keep going. And what I've found, as I touched on earlier, like I've battled, I don't drink alcohol anymore because that was a bit of an Achilles heel for me. So literally 2 days ago is a year that I had my last drink, and I will. Thanks, mate. Thank you, rock and roll, and H2O. It's the best. It's not vodka. Let me give you the red hot tip.
I wish it was.
Yeah, no. I used to do that a bit, Jade. The old vodka in the water bottle. So those days are long gone. But point of the story is, so I did a bit of stuff with Alcoholics Anonymous, and I'd go in there, and you want to get sober, you help the newcomer. You want to lose weight, you help other people lose weight. You want to build a property empire, help other people build a property empire, which is what you guys do. Success leaves clues. It's how the world works. And there's a great book I'm reading at the moment called Thank and Grow Rich. Not Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, but Thank and Grow Rich. It's about gratitude and joy and being on that vibration. And life-changing. But me having this conversation with you now, if you asked me to do this 6 months ago, totally different, let alone a year ago. But again, I made a decision to change my thinking, to change my outlook on life, not be a victim anymore. And there was a lot of that. When things go bad, it's everyone else's fault, or it's not me, and it's rubbish, it's madness. But as I was saying before, the ambition stuff's great, but you got to remember why you started. What was it when we started Vision PT? I'll just share this story quickly. I was a skinny kid at school, right? So went to an all-boys school, got picked on, not heaps, but once or twice by one of the Year 12 guys. And I didn't like it. A guy put a cigarette down my back. It was Allawah Station, Year 7. And it's kind of scary. I didn't like it. So then, mate, I couldn't fight my way out of a paper bag. Let's not kid ourselves. But I still thought I'm going to do some weights. And Dad bought me a home gym, and I started doing weights. And, so I didn't get picked on anymore. My confidence went up. Right, so my confidence, self-esteem, and there's a lot more to that than obviously how you look, but when you're a 15-year-old boy, that helps, right? Yeah, I wasn't reading Eckhart Tolle when I was 15, right? I was lifting weights and doing my best. Anyway, so I put on a bit of weight, started to feel good, and my confidence went up, and I had a little bit more confidence to talk to the girls on the bus and blah, blah, blah. And I thought, this is really nice. My mum and dad were school teachers, and they're like, well, you're going to go to uni, what are you going to do? I'm like, I hate school, but all right, I'll go do sports science. So I went to an academic school for supposedly smart people. I hated school. It wasn't for me. But then I went to uni and I did a sports science degree. But the reason I did it was I was a skinny kid at school, and I bulked up and I transformed my body, and I felt better. So I thought, I want to help other people do this. I want to be a personal trainer, because that was literally but it was pure. It was authentic. It wasn't, I'm going to be a personal trainer because I can leverage this and scale that and franchise. But no, it was just...
That purpose behind it.
Purpose. I had low self-esteem, confidence, anxiety. I built some muscle and felt better. And I thought, I want other people to experience this. So I started out in personal training.